Hello and welcome to the Alienware Arena. I am Mr. Bitter. Rotterdam is here as well. He's currently experiencing an earthquake. But other than that, he's ready to rock and roll. It's time for our third place match, ROOTViBE versus dignitasBling. Rotti, I know that this is going to be a fun one for you because these are two of your good friends and one of your good teammates.
Certainly true, man. We got really surprised yesterday with Vibe losing 0-3 against Sarovetti. It was Protoss as well. I still don't think that really has to mean something because all three games I think were quite unique. Sam in this case, Bling, plays very different than Sarovetti. So despite Vibe losing 0-3 yesterday, I don't think that means a lot for this matchup. And I am pretty curious to see how Bling is going to do though. Unfortunately, I did not see Bling's PVZs yesterday. I'm not sure if he played some, but I was actually still in the airplane while those games were going on the EU server.
I also didn't catch him playing any PvZ. I saw some of his games versus Grubby. He played very well, narrowly losing 2-3. So just barely not managing to make it to the grand finals. Grubby is in actually the game lobby here. He's going to be observing. So I suppose taking part in some of this fun StarCraft that is going down. I think all of our players are ready. Bling's exact words were, "I hope to make a good game and enjoy everybody." So
I don't think Bling sounds like that at all, man.
No, but he was doing the White Rod thing. That's how White Rod would say it, man.
Yeah, probably, perhaps. Maybe he's going on a charm offensive, making Europe fall. But I don't think there are a lot of people out there who dislike Bling. Bling is such a cool guy.
Bling he charms everybody by default.
He's our rock star. He's like the ultimate rock star that we have right now in the European scene.
You can't help but to be a little bit jealous of Bling because he's so good looking.
No.
He's got like the cool tattoos and he
got the most badass tattoos. The cool thing is that I've been like thinking about getting a tattoo for like 3 years by now, and it's even a small one, and I still didn't do it. And then Bling shows up at Homesteader Cup and he has his entire badass sleeve. I was like, oh man.
Bling's the man. There is no hesitation in the actions of Bling. He's.
I heard he has a couple of hidden tattoos as well, which the big audience has never seen yet. But apparently he has more than just the sleeve on his arm. But certainly the ones on his arms I think are super badass, and I look forward to seeing him play against Vibe, man. It's been a while since I casted Bling. We casted him a lot back then at the King of the Hill that we did in the off-season of the North American Star League, and he did really well. He won like 5-6 games. I think he even beat Nerdshow, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, so, I'll have a funny story to tell you guys about that once we get into the game. Bling's a beast, of course. So too is Vibe. We talked him up yesterday. One of the best North American players that there is. Period. First map is Whirlwind. Here we go.
You are watching the Alienware Arena.
All right, here we go. Whirlwind, the map. Zerg versus Protoss, the matchup. dignitasBling versus ROOTViBE. We've got Bling spawning down here in the bottom left-hand corner as the red Protoss. And the Vibe, the green Zerg, is in the bottom right. Promised a funny Bling story, so here it is. As Kevin pointed out, he played in the North American Star League's Gauntlet King of the Hill series. It was just that, regional King of the Hills. The winner stayed, the loser, had to go home and lick his wounds. Bling ended up winning about $1,000 playing the King of the Hills. It's like $150 a match. He did quite well for himself.
I think he won like 6 in a row, so I think
it would have been $900. So he had a hell of a run. So like 2 weeks ago, I get a message from Bling. He's like, "Yo, man, when you guys gonna pay me? Y'all owe me my money." I'm like, "All right, Bling, I'll bring it up with my boss immediately." I go to my boss. I was like, "Boss, this is unacceptable. Bling needs his money. He won this $900. It's been months now. Why hasn't he been paid?" My boss is like, "Oh my God, I'm so sorry. This should have been paid. I'll get right on it." And 5 minutes later, my boss walks into the back. He's like, "Ben, Bling was paid like 2 weeks after he won those games." So Bling dropping the ball on us there, getting us all in a little bit of trouble. He's going to be going Nexus first against Vibe.
How did that end up? He did not check his PayPal or something?
I have no idea, but like my Mark showed me a screenshot of the PayPal transaction, so it was there. And then I was like, "Bling, what the hell? You got paid?" And he's like, "Oh yeah." That's what he said.
I just want to get paid twice, man. I need another sleeve. I need to get those tattoos are pretty expensive, man. Certainly when you go all out like Bling did.
It's
Anyways,
pretty funny. I was like, Bling, check your PayPal transactions on this date, and he goes, "Oh, yeah, thanks."
I did. So we saw Nexus first from Bling, and he's even gonna get the Forge in the main base, making it a little bit harder for Vibe to figure out what's going on, if he's going for some +1 aggression or not, because of course it helps his Zerg a lot if you see that Forge on the ramp. But we can see Vibe taking perhaps a note out of Katz's playbook. He's gonna go double hatch before spawning pool.
Pretty cool stuff. It's going to set up a nice economy. I'm interested in the location of this third hatchery. He's expanding right.
I'm actually taking the one a little bit to the more north, because then you sort of just have to worry about this corner. Of course, Vibe does not know yet where Blink spawns. He's going to figure that out in the near future. Actually, he's going to know it right now with the Overlord. It's like,
Well,
he's going to have to be careful with this Overlord as well. This Overlord is going to take quite some damage. It will survive, but...
Boom. About half of its life remaining. Now, we've seen players try the Immortal All-In on this map before. In general, I feel like it's a little bit too big for it, but was it the BWC where...
It also was in our NSL Season 4 finals, where Hero made it work against against Violet in the final deciding game.
That's right. So, yeah, that was actually really cool. He showed us some really excellent unit control. So it's not impossible. It can be done. This is a very large map, and anytime, as maps get bigger and bigger, it becomes harder and harder to make these two base all-ins work. But it's not an impossibility. That said, I think Bling's pretty confident in his PVZ. He's shown us some cool builds in the past.
Yep, Bling was actually one of the first players to really hang on to that sort of Archon Immortal High Templar push with a couple of Blink Stalkers. Going from one Forge, kind of like something we saw Seravetti do yesterday, but then Bling was just doing it off one Forge, and he was only focusing on the tech upgrades. But Bling has a wide variety of builds as well. Now we can already see him whopping in the Stargate, so he's going to mix it up in game number 1. And we're going to see some Stargate play out of him.
Stargate's becoming pretty common again, especially over in Korea, so interested to see what Bling does with this. If you guys are just joining us, this is the Alienware Arena. This is, I guess, Championship Sunday. We've got our third place match right now between Bling and Vibe, as we see this Stalker poking away at one of Vibe's queens. And that'll be followed up by the grand finals between North American Cinderella Story.
Yes.
Clarity Gaming Sarovati, who beat Cats QXC and then Vibe yesterday to earn his spot against Grubby here in the grand finals today. That'll be a PvP, of course.
Yeah, it was really cool. Even Grubby sent Saravati a message over Twitter. I think that Saravati never really paid much attention to Twitter up until yesterday when everyone suddenly started tweeting him. And it's like, hey man, quite the run that you had over there. So it's going to be really fun, man. It's going to be an exciting esports day for us. As later tonight, we have our little talk show as well. That's going to be fun. But we can talk all about that later.
Man, it's almost... This is almost a perfect story for Saravati. He played every matchup yesterday except PvP. So, there's really... It's going to be kind of hard for Grubby to study up on that particular matchup. And if you watched Saravati's games yesterday, you've got to be like, oh, damn, I don't want to play against this guy.
It's going to be like, okay, I can't really prepare against anything. We see Bling right now, Ben. He's actually, for a second I thought he wanted to produce 2 Void Rays, because he had a second Void Ray in production. He also showed that Void Ray, but then he cancelled it. This is the second Overlord scout by Fight. It's massive though in the main base right now, as we see that he's going to scout those 5 gates. I'm curious to see where Bling is going to take this, man. He's just going to rely on gate-based Void Ray for now, while going up to 3 bases. And he's warping in the robotics bay at 8 minutes 30 seconds. That's all pretty quick. He's doing this of a reasonable low economy.
I don't think Vibe's going to let him take that third base, Kev. He's got a lot of lings headed in that direction. I got to say, I'm very impressed with Vibe scouting this game. Excellent job. Sacrificing 2 Overlords to get the full picture, and then has that third Overlord over that third base. These lings, before speed even finishes, showing up to pressure this Nexus.
Yeah, Vibe is working off 61 drones right now, so that's already a very reasonable 3-base economy. And he's just going to rally so many roaches across the map. Roach speed is more than halfway done. That first Stalker dies immediately. And even if Bling is going to be able to keep this base alive for now, I'm not sure if he's going to be able to keep it alive when there are 15 roaches heading in that direction.
A little impressed that he's able to hold it from the Zergling pressure, but the roaches, as you said, are a huge problem. Zealot Sentry is not the best unit composition.
But of course we're gonna have a Void Ray, and that Void Ray, once it's charged up, it does a lot of damage against roaches. Maybe with Sentry, he's gonna be able to buy some time for himself as well. This is actually going to be quite a crucial phase in this game already. If Bling ends up not losing too much, he's going to be in pretty good shape, because yes, 61 drones is pretty nice, but it's also not that super sick Zerg economy that we often know from them.
Vibe, you sneaky guy, sneaks around the back with a lot of roaches. He's got more roaches than Ling streaming in from the front. And now Bling is out of position. Nexus has finished, and he knows that he cannot hold it. He's going to have to give it up. Great play here from Vibe.
Some Zerglings streaming into the natural as well. Maybe Bling can get some force fields down behind those roaches, because with those zealots he should be able to take it out. First Colossus almost out as well. Those are pretty good force fields. He's going to be able to trap 4 or 5 roaches and take them off pretty easily.
Killing a lot of roaches, but it all comes at the expense of his third base. Now he has Colossus Tech coming into play, and I'm thinking that we're just... No, he's going to try to retake the third. That's very interesting.
It's still only 11 minutes in this game. Obviously, if he would have kept that base alive, this would have been fantastic. But there are Stargate plays where, in my opinion, you can get away with an 11-minute third base. Even though it's late, don't get me wrong. It's much better to get it down around 10 minutes and 15 seconds or something like that. Well, I believe we have Warp Prism and Rest going on in the main base. So if we take a small look at that, we can see a couple of Zealots and Sentries. Ooh, maybe he might even be able to force field Vibe out of his main base. That would be pretty sick.
Vibe's completely unaware of this at the moment, and Bling not showing it until he's damn well ready for it.
He's gonna
Sentry's coming forward.
He's gonna
wow,
have
that's
Sentries.
a long walk!
Oh, but he's gonna get the force field down. Of course, the other force fields are going to be crucial. That one Sentry is focused right now by the Queen and also by these drones. But Bling is gonna pick it up. He's gonna try to renew these force fields. That's not good enough, I feel.
Yep, let's
now we have
through.
4 or 5 roaches in the main base. Zealots are working on this layer, which is upgrading to Hive though, but I don't think he will be able to take it out, as there are quite some roaches. Oh, that force field, it was so close. So close.
Just a couple of seconds off. A valiant effort there by Bling. He's going to immediately lift up and head out to the 4th base. Start working on this hatchery.
I think this one he will be able to get.
This is going to be really close again.
He's going to be able to get it. This is a pretty good pickoff. So that's definitely something, but I mean, if he would have got the Hive/layer, that would have been super massive. But Vibe, of course, super well aware of this Warp Prism still flying around. Bling on the other end is taking out some creep tumors with his main army. Vibe has macro slacked a little bit during all this, but that's more than fine, as he has an Infestation Pit, he has double Spire as well, so soon he's going to be able to spend all this money. Perhaps it was even on purpose.
Really great play by Bling, putting the pressure back onto Vibe, buying himself the time he needed to secure that base. He will once again begin pressuring Vibe's 4th, and once again, he's going to kill it. That was not canceled, so nicely done there by Bling, continuing to be a big thorn in Vibe's side. He's closing that supply gap, 145 supply against 160 supply, and that's a pretty ominous 150 Protoss supply cap. He's got 3 Colossi, 4th about to spawn. That's a big, scary Protoss army.
Definitely, the biggest problem is though that Vibe is so rich. The only thing that Vibe does not really have going for him is a great gas economy. The Corruptors are out now as well, so this time this Warp Prism will fall. The Sentries are going to fall as well, and the Corruptor count is climbing. But the good thing is that Bling, as you said, Ben, he shut down that 4th base, not just once, but twice. And the only reason why Vibe really wanted that is not because he was poor on minerals, but we really needed that 7 and 8 extractor, and he's not going to be able to get it for a long time right now, which means we're not going to see this insane amount of Broodlords and Infestors. Yep. That's very gas intensive. Instead
of Infestor Broodlord, we're going to see a big Roachling Corruptor attack. Now, if he can kill off all these Colossi, that'll still be pretty good. But,
we have 10 Corruptors. He's going to have to be careful though, because if the force fields are going to be good for Bling, I'm not sure if those Corruptors can just idle above a Protoss army and try to take out those Colossus. Bling really found a way for himself back in this game, and Vibe, of course, he still has a very nice bank to fall back on, but he doesn't have that also important 7 and 8 extractor.
Yeah, he's really just now finishing up that hatchery. He'll be able to mine that gas almost immediately. He's also taking a 5th expansion, which is very important. Bling is moving forward, though, and this is so critical, man. Protoss players becoming so good at exploiting these times in the game when the Zerg players don't have Broodlords quite yet. Great looking attack here, killing these spine crawlers.
He can even blink forward. That's a great blink. He's going to blink right below the Broodlords.
And he will immediately kill off every single Broodlord Colossi, going to work on the roaches. This is looking great for Bling.
I think Bling has done it, man. There are still a couple of Corruptors remaining, but those Colossus took out pretty much all of the roaches and links. The Stalkers right now working on those Corruptors. Wow, Bling was in a pretty nasty spot early on in the game, but that Warp Prism address really brought him back in the game. Did not allow Vibe to get that gas economy going that he really needed to. And then he just hit the sickest pre-root load timing in this phase of the game. Normally that wouldn't have been a timing, but the way that this game unfolded, it was as 5, 6, 7, 8 spine crawlers were just morphing but not ready yet. And Bling just crushes Vibe in the first game.
So nicely done. Yeah, Kev, I like what you're saying. It's not like the typical, quote, pre-Brood Lord timing. It was, Vibe was heading up to Brood Lords, and then Bling started doing stuff that slowed it all down. And that's what kind of allowed him to push a little bit later, but still hitting before the Brood Lords were in play. Very nicely done by Bling.
Yeah, I really want to applaud him for that, because in a situation like that, you're often quite worried. You're like, I already lost my third base once. I should probably keep all my units in position right now so I can actually go up to 3 bases and perhaps then make something happen. But Bling, despite being under a lot of pressure and despite a lot of units from Vibe still out on the map, he just sent out that Warp Prism immediately. He tried to take out the main. That would have been super massive as well. But that didn't work out. It was close, but didn't work out. But after that, immediately changed his mind, went for went for the base, which was a little bit north of the main, the 4th base, took that hatchery out, and then after I did it again when there wasn't even a cancel. Minerals were not the biggest problem, but slowing down the gas economy so much while having a bad early game is pretty impressive, and that was some excellent game sense by Blink, man.
All right, guys, we are going to take a short break. We're going to switch over to the Europe server, and we will be back with a lot more StarCraft 2 from the Alienware Arena Championship Sunday. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back to the Alienware Arena and to game number 2 between Vibe and Bling. This is going to be happening on Daybreak, a map that Vibe's going to be very comfortable on, but also a map that we know Bling has some pretty cool builds on. I'm really excited to see if he pulls out that Zealot Archon Immortal stuff that we've seen him do in the past, Kev.
Yeah, with the +3 upgrades, it's a really pretty tough push to hold, and you're gonna need an insane amount of spine crawlers in my opinion, and a couple of good fungals, and perhaps even roaches, even though roaches of course not amazing against immortals, but relying only on zerglings is also pretty tough. So in my opinion, spine crawlers and infestors are the real way to go against this, but having a few roaches to fall back on, and perhaps later on with infested terrorists trying to deal with those immortals, it is a nasty push. I'm not sure if Bling is still doing it, but it's pretty hard to deal with.
Game is about to load, guys. dignitasBling versus ROOTViBE. We are on the European server for the Alienware Arena third place match. Of course, coming up after this, Grubby versus Sarovati, the unlikely finalist, taking his shot.
I'm so excited for that series, man.
I am too, man. It's going to be a lot of fun.
If Sarovati does it again, I think I'm just going to scream, because that would be absolutely amazing. I can sincerely say that I've never seen a run like that in a StarCraft 2 tournament of a guy that I knew so little about. If he takes out 3 top North American players and then also Grubby. Anyways, guys, we're gonna take a small break, then we'll be right back with game number 2 between Vibe and Bling on Daybreak.
You are watching the Alienware Arena.
Here we go. Top right-hand corner of Daybreak, the red Protoss player leading 1-0. That is dignitasBling.
Oh my god, we got Adabisi observer.
And down in the bottom left, the green Zerg representing Team Root. It is Vibe.
I don't think it's very often, man, that Vibe loses 4 games on a row against Protoss players. Certainly not if those Protoss players are not Korean. So we're sort of witnessing something unique over here already. But, I mean, yesterday I really didn't give up on Vibe until the very last game, and that he lost that one as well. And right now I'm still not going to do it either, even though I think Bling is an absolutely, as a great Protoss player, and I really love that we have guys like Bling in our scene. I don't think he's a lot better than Vibe. I think Vibe, as you said, man, he's still the reigning American champion, and he's still one of the best North American Zerg. So I think this is going to be quite an even match, which I think that either side can take, really.
I feel the same way, Kev, but I'm also starting to wonder a little bit if maybe, you know, we had the holidays roll around, maybe Vibe wasn't playing much StarCraft, man.
Yeah, that is possible.
We joked yesterday that that's when he's in the best shape. But this is also a time, surprisingly, in the Wings of Liberty metagame where we're seeing these small little adjustments that are leading to big shifts in certain places. Vibe asking for a quick pause here as he has to fix his hotkeys. We did switch over to the European server.
Making it as fair for the players as possible. We played the first game on the North American server. That's a very nice win, by the way, for Bling, man. Winning your first game on your opponent's server, that kind of feels like a double victory already. Because then you feel like, hey, if I can win on NA, I should definitely be able to win on Europe.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. Anyway, looks like Bling wants to try and delay Vibe's attempts at expansion as much as he possibly can. Vibe just now with 300 minerals, and he is being stalled. So this is some cute little control here from Bling. That probe's got to get out of there, though, as it's about to die.
Yeah, I actually want to talk a little bit more about the servers. Of course, we are pretty experienced StarCraft players, and we kind of know. For the people who don't really know or never played StarCraft on a different server, how much of influence has it on the results? How bad is it? It really depends, guys, from which country you are or where you live in the US. Like I believe Vibe lives somewhere on the East Coast. Is that correct, man? I think like close to New York.
I want to put him in the Midwest, like around Colorado.
Really? You think he's a mountain boy?
I think he's a mountain boy.
Okay, I actually thought it was a little bit more to the east. In any case, what I can say for sure, guys, is that Bling, of course, lives in the UK. And I've played some Warcraft 3 back in the days from England, and I can guarantee you they have pretty bad internet connections. This is one of the reasons why Bling spent some time in the team house in France as well, because it is already quite tough for a British player to play on the European server. This is sometimes even the reason why Bling doesn't always practice as much anymore, just because he gets really demotivated of the lag that he has to play with. So imagine if Europe is bad, and they must be really quite bad for Bling. So picking up that first win has to feel really, really nice.
Yeah, I think
it is just like a weird thing, because of course England is, for instance, closer to the US than Sweden, but I can guarantee you that it's better to play from Sweden on the US server than it is from England. Just all has to do with routing. I am no internet expert or I'm no technician expert by any means, but I do know that much.
I guess the English invest more in their crumpets than they do in their broadband.
No, they invest in their fireworks shows, man.
That's the truth. London fireworks shows are always amazing.
At the end of the year, all the money that could have gone into internet structure just went into the best fireworks show in the world. And Bling is looking at it and he's just like, every single rocket that goes off, he's like, oh, that's another leg spike.
Are you kidding me? Bling is right there. He's dancing in the middle of the party harder than anybody.
but the next day he's sad about it again.
Yeah.
I actually don't think he doesn't live in London though. I think he lives a little bit south of it. I'm not sure. Bling seems like a guy from Brighton.
Bling has opened up with the Robo, which doesn't really tell us a whole lot just yet. It could mean that he's playing completely normal. It could mean that he has some crazy plan. It could mean that it could mean any number of things, Kev. I don't know what it means. What do you think it means?
It could still be in his traditional push, because then he often started off with the Robo as well, and just after that he's going to get a Twilight Crown. So we see 6 minutes and 35 seconds. Both the simulators are going down in the natural. That's pretty normal. It could still be a normal Immortal Century push as well, but I don't really think that's very likely. Because Bling hasn't really done that for a long time, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's why if he just played the way that he did on Whirlwind, why would he want to play like that on Daybreak? It is not the worst map for the Immortal Century All-In, also not the best. I think it's safe to say that Ohana is the best one for it. I think we might see Bling's tree-based strategy, man. I'm feeling it.
Vibe, on the other hand, droning hard, 15 drones at a time, overtaking Bling in the worker count at about 7 minutes and 10 seconds here.
That's such a quick nexus from Bling on the right side of the map. 7 minutes and 25 seconds he walked in his third base. He did just take out one link, so Vibe is not aware of this yet. And we even see 2 observers by Bling before going into more Immortal production. That's just because he knows he's not going to have a lot of units to keep this base alive. And he also knows that vision is everything. You don't need that many units as long as you know where your opponent is going to attack. Because then you can rely on those force fields. But if you're in the dark, it's almost impossible to always split up your sentries effectively. So he's going to open double observer, which I really think is a smart move.
I like it a lot. He's also used his Stalker to pick off the lone scouting Ling outside the natural expansion. So Vibe is completely in the dark at this point. Has a couple of Overlords dotting the map, but none of them anywhere near that third expansion. So Vibe's playing completely blind here. Getting a relatively fast layer, but it does not look like Mutas to me. He's getting +1 range attack. He's getting roach speed. So this looks very standard.
Yeah, Ben, I must say I'm a little bit surprised we didn't see an Overlord in the right bottom side of the map. What do you think about that? Like on that little free airspace where an Overlord can always idle and then later on poke in to see what's going on.
Yeah, I always like to send like my 3rd or 4th Overlord to this little blue square right below the 3rd base. You know how much I like to joke about these blue squares on Daybreak. But these little blue cubes that you guys are looking at on the screen right now, they're all around the map, and those are basically big things saying send Overlords here. They give you great vision. And it does surprise me a little bit that that Vibe doesn't have something in that neighborhood to see what's going on. Yeah. Now he sends some Lings across for the first time in the game.
It's too late already. There's a perfect wall here by Bling. He's going to get some cannons. He has quite some gateways to work off with as well. Vibe knows it. That's why he's going to go into more drone production. We see the Spire go down immediately. I do not think this is a Mutalisk Spire though. Not... no, I don't think so.
It might be. It might be. If it was only for Broodlords and Corruptors, then usually you see it starting with the Hive. Vibe is not a player... Oh, okay, so there's the Hive. So it looks like you are right after all. Vibes, it's not unheard of for Vibe to do the Muta switch, but I think given that the Hive has now started up and 17 more drones go into production, that you are right on.
We had
Corruptors.
Vibe still tried to make something happen with that small group of Lings that he had in the right bottom side of the map, and he ran it into the 3rd base. We were not looking at it, but I can tell you guys that he killed 3 workers in the process, so not a big win, not a big loss for Bling. And Ben, if you look at the income tab, okay, right now Vibe went back to 85 drones, but before it was like 63 against 61. That is absolutely fantastic for a Protoss player.
Yeah, Bling's in a great place, man, and he is adding those extra gateways, getting his Twilight Council. I feel like this is a slower Twilight Council than we've seen from him in the past, though. Yep.
But he's going to get the Templar Archives immediately. He's going to research Charge, and by the time the Charge is ready, after that he's going to wipe in a couple of High Templars, because right now he's going to just dump all his gas into Archons and all the minerals into Zealots. But we see quite some Spine Crawlers going down. It seems like Vibe has a reasonable idea of what's going on, and that's a lot of Spines. Spines are good, but as I said, it's still going to come down to some great fungals as well. Man,
It's
I'm so
all
curious to
about
see.
fun.
Yeah, I'm so curious to see how it's going to unfold this time. It's been a while since we saw anyone do this push. Bling was a really big fan of it. Look at that gas, by the way, guys. He saved up. He's going to get 3 Archons immediately. He might even go up to 4 Archons. And then with an amazing amount of charge slots. I don't know, man.
Yeah, this is going to be really cool. There's that
Wow.
Archon orbit that we talked about. And one more round of Zealots. As soon as charge finishes, we're going to see Bling moving at the same time. Warp Prism making its way to the main base. This is just going to complicate things for Vibe further, forces him to spread out his units a little bit. Greater Spire is about 3/4 of the way to completion, Kev. So this this window is closing.
Yeah, but we're still going to have a fight before Broodlord. I mean, Bling... Oh, he's actually supply blocked right now. And he's only making 1 pylon. I'm a little bit worried about that. Now he's making 7 pylons at once. Wow, Bling, now you might slightly be overdoing it. Greatest Spire is getting closer and closer to complete it. For the people who are
setting up a 3-prong attack here.
the
Warp
people who are
Prism in the
curious,
main,
man.
Zealots in the third, and a big attack. Go ahead, Kev.
Yeah, he's working off 12 gates, which I think is a pretty important number to figure out. So 12 gates is what it is. That means he's able to warp in 12 Zealots at once. Here we go with the first Zealots running into that third base. We got Corruptors, we don't have Broodlords yet, but we're going to see them real soon. Even a Hallucinated Colossus, I like that.
Oh, that's a great first fungal, catching all those Zealots, but it's still a huge Protoss army for Bling. Force fields are not that good. Infested Terrans and Zerglings streaming in. Does Bling have enough, or can Vibe hold here?
I feel that his reinforcement pylon is quite far off as well, at least for the main fight over here. A lot of infested Terrans being spawned. Vibe lost a lot of supply though, Blink's still doing good. And those 12 gateways, man, those Immortals are still alive, so the new Zealots are going to be quite effective. Oh,
This
we
is
have
a
4
crazy
Broodlords.
fight. At first I thought Vibe had crushed it, but Bling is still coming.
That's how I thought as well.
There are a lot of spies.
Oh my God.
My God, that is a lot of Zealots. Vibe doing a good job with the spine crawlers all around the map. Does lose that central 4th expansion. Third base was saved, and the Broodlords are here. That means that eventually Vibe should stabilize, and I think he's done an okay job of it here, Kevin. Spine crawlers everywhere.
Another warp in though in the main base, man. I think this Greatest Spire is going to go down. That means we have 5 Broodlords right now, and we're probably going to stay to that number for quite a while. Yes, there are 5 Broodlords, no more, no less. The Infestation Pit is even taking a lot of damage. Oh, some Infestors have to be careful as well. You do not want to lose Infestors.
Oh, Sixth Pit does fall. That's a big blow to Vibe, certainly. And while this is happening, Bling is falling back and reestablishing his main army. Spotting Pool even taking a lot of damage, but it's not going to die.
Good transfuses there.
This push is so nasty.
Yeah.
Bling does it so well, attacking in 3 places at once.
I totally agree with you, Ben, because in the start of that fight, I really felt that this was going to go quite bad for Bling. But somehow, even though those Colossus were fake, it almost looked like they were real because all the Zerglings died so quick. This, of course, guys, has a lot to do with the upgrades. I really think if Vibe actually had some upgrades, this would have been different. But these were 2-1 Zealots against 0-0 Zerglings.
Vibe shutting down further Warp Prism play in the main base there. Bling will take a 4th base. He is ahead in supply, even on expansions, and he has a terrifying army. Army supplies are pretty, well, they were pretty even. Vibe just threw 7 Ultras into the production tab.
That's like the highest amount of Ultras I've seen in quite a while. I do not really understand this, man.
I don't like it at all, Kevin. He has no upgrades. These are going to be 0-0 Ultras, maybe 1-1.
Against 2-1 Immortals. We have 4 Immortals. We still have high temp. Even Archons are pretty damn sweet against Ultras. I am really confused by this move by Vibe.
We'll see how it works out. These ain't no Heart of the Swarm Ultras Vibe. But again, if Bling overextends, he can certainly be punished badly for it. I like that he's cleaning up these creep tumors around the map.
Yep, making it harder for Vibe to see Warp Prism perhaps float over. Bling is investing in a Fleet Beacon though. Like the start rate went down, the Fleet Beacon is down now as well. But now Bling is going to see those Ultras, and I really think that Vibe just has like this one push them because storm going now.
Go away! I'll storm you, Ultra.
Yeah. So the Ultra is like, ooh, tickle. I hate tickles. I mean, those 5 Broodlords are still going to be quite annoying as well. More storms going down, so he's going to be able to do a little bit of damage on the Brutes immediately. Bling just needs to fall back. In my opinion, he doesn't
Archons
have to...
back.
Yep. He's going to lose 1 Archon storm going down on the Broodling. He doesn't have to fight immediately, in my opinion. If I were him, I would wait a little bit longer.
He's taking his time, doing a great job.
Storms.
The Broodlords to death. And now
Forward
he can
blink.
under. Or just walk forward.
Yeah, he doesn't want to get the Stalkers out of position against those Zerglings and those Ultras. So you're going to see the big fight. A couple of great combos going down though, but man, those Immortals making work of those Ultralists.
Yeah, but dying very fast, Kevin. The Ultras do that bonus damage to the Immortals, and they have crushed through, and Bling right now forced to micro for his life. He's down 40 supply.
So well. He's microing so well though. 2 Ultras are really low in HP. Bling is focus firing excellently.
Wow, just phenomenal.
That was perfect for Bling.
Phenomenal. The Immortals do all ultimately go down, but so too do the Ultras, and Bling hangs on to that supply lead, kept his Nexus alive. Zergling Reinforcement's going to try to do something about that.
Well, we have a lot of Stalkers coming in there. These Zerglings are probably just going to suicide on this Nexus. Okay, so it is very likely Vibe will be, you know, Ben, the also beautiful line, at what cost?
At what cost indeed, man. A Nexus, only 400 minerals. Yes, that's expensive, but I mean, 7 Ultralisks are substantially more expensive, and this many Zerglings, honestly, is kind of...
It was almost like an even trade, Zergling.
Yeah, it really was. If you look at resources lost, it tells a pretty important story. Vibe, much more invested in this game than Bling is.
We have harass going on the left top side of the map with Dark Templars as well. And Ben, there is only a single Overseer on the map. There are no Spore Crawlers anywhere. Dark Templars running into this third base. This looks fantastic for Bling right now.
Queen will go down. Hatchery may fall.
Baneling.
Deal with that with just the Banelings. They can detonate.
Oh, I love it. Immediately splitting up the High Templars. Did you see that? Not want to keep those High Templars clumped up together.
And one of them stays alive, so Vibe might lose 2 hatcheries here.
Banelings will be able to take out this one, but once more, quite some Fungals used, quite some Banelings forced to detonate, and Bling at the same time just remaking 2 Nexus at a time. Man, Bling is playing a really, really good StarCraft. It's so awesome, you know, because we never really know how much StarCraft Bling plays, because we just see him as this good StarCraft player who's like the ultimate rock star. But actually, Ben, he's a pretty damn solid StarCraft player, and he just keeps surprising us.
Solid StarCraft player. I mean, his run in this tournament proves it. Just barely lost to Grubby. I mean, it could have just easily been Bling in the finals. But
oh, High Templars.
Man.
Oh yes, Storm. Storm. Storm yourself. Make it rain.
Actually, no Templar dying there, I don't think. Which is pretty impressive. Another DT going to make its way around to the third base and try to kill off that low health hatchery.
I think he will be able to get it. There is some transfuse though. He might be able to drop one. Yes. Second one. Yes.
And
Fungal. He tried to dodge the Fungal. But I mean, it's still so extremely low in HP.
It's really not getting any better for Vibe, man. I mean, he's like, Vibe is not dying, but he's very... Vibe hasn't lost, but he's not really doing much to better his position. He's not doing anything really to come back and win this game. Bling is up 50 supply, Mothership is out, Warp Prism is harassing, units still being warped in on that pylon at the top of the map and running around and being annoying.
You know, this has been a really interesting game. Actually, the type of game that I would just like to replay cast once, because there were a lot of really funny moments. But like Vibe had 2-2 on the way while he made all those ultras, but he didn't wait for it. He just went for it immediately, and it looked quite good. Like the moment he fungled the army a couple of times, it looked really good. But the moment there was no more fungal, if Bling would have attack moved, he would have died. But he was microing so well with the Immortals, with the Stalkers, never got trapped, never surrounded, always found a way to still run back and shoot, and he picked off Ultras one at a time like it were a bunch of Zerglings. It couldn't have been any better.
Play in this game has just been phenomenal. I mean, this is almost perfect Protoss play, Kevin. I mean, Bling has just been excellent this game. Vibe did, I think, everything really that he could have done to stop that initial push. But Bling just he's too good at it, man. He executed it perfectly. Triple pronged aggression and never really relented. And now here we see a game that is very clearly going to go the way of the Protoss player, Pink Blink.
Going to be able to pick off a couple of nice storms as well on those Zerglings and Banelings. He picked up some infestors before the fight started, and those storms, they were definitely there to seal the deal. GG is gold. Bling is going to take a 2-0 lead over Vibe here at that third place decider of the Alienware Arena Challenge. I still want to point out once more, Ben, that I really think that first fight, it looked good for Vibe, and the reason why it didn't turn out good is upgrades, man. It really was upgrades. Bling had 2-1 upgrades on his Zealots, and Vibe was 0-0 on the Zerglings. And even when you get a great engagement off, it doesn't really matter because your Zerglings don't deal damage, and the Zealots just kill Zerglings like they're flies.
And then Vibe had all that money banked. Of course, he lost his Greater Spire, and he decided to translate all that money into Ultralisks. And you know, Ultras, the applications for the Ultralisk and Wings of Liberty are so situational. That wasn't the time for them, I don't think. Great play from Bling. Kevin, here's a bizarre statistic for you. Vibe has lost 5 ZVPs in a row against non-Korean players.
Yeah, that's. I don't think I've seen that happen ever since Vibe went on that roll. We casted him in NHL Season 3. Even though he didn't have the best Season 3, we really saw that his play was excellent, certainly for a North American Zerg player. And him ending up winning WCS and being the runner-up at the North America Continental Finals, of course in WCS Series as well, really showed it that he was, without a doubt, one of the best players in North America. And ever since then, man, I don't think he has ever lost 5 games in a row against Protoss.
Guys, we're going to take a break. When we get back, we find out if Vibe goes 0-6, or if he will begin his comeback.
6-0. Okay, you can't.
Can't do that, but he could go. He could end up going 3-5. Don't go anywhere, guys. The Alienware Arena will return after this. Welcome back to the Alienware Arena and to our third, fourth place match. Right now, dignitasBling leads 2-0 over ROOTViBE, standing 1 win away from locking up that third place and sending us on to our grand final, where we will be casting Protoss player Grubby against Protoss player Sarovati. And if you're wondering who the hell is Sarovati, well, you're not alone.
It's so funny as well, because like out of all the people that could have made it, it's Grubby who's going to be there. So on one hand we have a guy that we've known for ages. He's been around since, well, 2002, 2003 maybe. And on the other day we have on the other side we have Sarovati, who we've known for 2 days.
Man, I have this terrible red light on my microphone.
You use one of the snowball mics, right?
Yeah.
Wait.
Yeah.
You are watching the Alienware Arena.
We are back. Yes, Kev, I do use the snowball. I like the snowball a lot, but I've got to get some like electrical tape or something, or at least like one of those little, you know, foamy covers to put over it, whatever those are called.
I think the name Snowball is an
guard.
awesome name for the microphone.
Me too, man.
I'm kind of jealous of the guy.
I like the quality. Like, it's got really nice sound quality, I think. It's got all these different settings. Like it's like right.
But the other day when you did a cast, someone flamed you for your microphone, and they said like, "Why doesn't he just get a snowball or something?" And I was like, "I think he has one."
Yeah, well, it's like that particular cast I was using a headset, and the microphone quality wasn't so good, and like I have the snowball sitting right next to me, and like I read that post. I was like, you know what, this guy's right. I've got this I've got this nice mic right here. Why don't I use it?
Never
Anyway,
really liked
guys.
the price.
Entombed Valley is our third map. ROOTViBE spawning in the bottom left. And in the top right, his opponent leading 2-0, dignitasBling.
Before the game started, Vibe just PM'd me and he said, hey, please go easy on me. I've been on quite a wild streak. I said, like, yeah, I kind of figured that one out. Of course, as you mentioned before, Ben, as well, it's sort of like the holiday season. Like at the end of December, after all the, or even mid-December, when a lot of the big tournaments stopped in NA, a lot of players just took a break for a little while and then enjoyed holidays, Christmas, and now the new year kicks in again. So I guess for 2-3 more months, we're going to go all out in Wings of Liberty. And after that, of course, Harder the Swarm is coming out. I'm pretty sure that we're going to see Vibe at least make 1 or 2 more big appearances in Wings of Liberty. But perhaps he's going to have to drop WoW for that.
You're hitting on another good point. We're really at the end of Wings of Liberty's lifespan. And there are not that many pro players that are going all out on Wings of Liberty. There are a few guys who are preparing for the IEMs that are coming up, for the next IPL, which I can't believe is already on the horizon.
Isn't it in March? I feel
yeah.
like late March.
It's after Heart of the Swarm, but it's going to be Wings of Liberty.
Oh, interesting. I'm not sure if I should attend that event yet, Ben. I love the IPO events, but Vegas, I'm not sure if I can.
Just yesterday you were talking about how you need to go back.
Yes, but I need to go back like in a quiet environment. If all my friends are there, it's not going to go well for me.
Oh man, I think I'm gonna enroll you into Gamblers Anonymous.
What is that? That I stop gambling?
Sit down. He's like, my name is Rotterdam, and,
and I am a degenerate gambler.
I'm a degenerate gambler.
No, I think I'm fine, Ben. I just need to stay away from the roulette wheel like everyone else in the world. Guys, I can give you one friendly advice: never, ever, ever play roulette. In Europe, it's hard to win, but not impossible. In the American roulette, I'm just stupid for even
I
trying.
can't believe you're lying to these people. We have figured out the rules to roulette.
Yeah,
there
what is
are
that?
a couple.
Bet
When
on
there's a
8?
dealer switch, you bet on 0.
Yeah, that's true.
And the rest of the time you bet on 8, and you're guaranteed to win.
Statistically not, but yes, if there is a dealer switch, guys, always bet on 0 or 00. It's a Rotty's secret strategy. Anyway, you see Vibe, Ben, he dropped an extractor a lot quicker this game. So he's switching it up a little bit. He is going up to 3 bases though, and around the 5-minute mark. But it's not as quick as we saw in the previous games. There were a couple of games where he went double hedge before spawning pool. This time he just went for a normal spawning pool. Then still dropped the hedge, but also dropped a much quicker extractor. So we're going to see a different playstyle out of Vibe.
We saw... Oh, there's a layer. I was going to say we saw the hatch cancel in his series against In Control.
I think this might be a Mutalist play, Ben. I'm just feeling it.
It's only 2 gas right now.
Yeah, but...
He's going to need more if he's going to go Muta. But it very well could be. He doesn't have any other sort of infrastructure down. No Evo chambers, no Roach Warren. So I think you could be onto something, Kev. Bling, however, coming forward with a Stalker and a Zealot. There are no units.
It's going to be pretty annoying for Vibe, as Vibe, all that he has right now, Ben, is 2 slow links, and he's not even researching speed. So he's going to take quite some damage over here. He just morphed more and more drones as well. So he's going to end up losing at least a few drones. We did see 2 more extractors go down, by the way, guys, in the natural. Ooh, the Queen is upgraded. The Zealot dealing a lot of damage here.
Yeah, this is nice
and he's
control
still making vibes.
from both of these players.
He's still making drones. He wants to do this with drones and drones only. He's going to end up losing a few, but I guess he will be able to survive in the long run. Ugh. More and more drones, man.
Vibe is serious about his economy. And really, he didn't lose all that much. 3 drones went down at the cost of a Zealot, so that's almost an even trade.
See,
kept his Queen alive.
And then we do see
there's the Spire. There's that Spire.
See, man,
so
I was onto something.
You were onto it, Kev.
You're trying to make me second guess. I learned one thing in Vegas: never second guess, guys. If you have a feeling, just go for it.
Spire's down. What is Bling planning? He's got all these extra gateways, but that third base tells us that he probably wants to sit back and play passively.
I don't think he's expecting Mutalist play at all, though. Taking a look. Does he have a robo? I don't think so yet. Man, it's gonna be pretty tough for Bling because he doesn't have a robo yet.
No, he's gonna have no vision. He also has no real way to get over to his third base with these rocks in the way.
Yeah, he's gonna be able to take that out. That's fine with the cannon, and he will be fine. I mean, by the time that he's gonna have to worry about that. Ooh, is he actually gonna be aggressive? He's gonna wipe in 3 sentries right now. even 6, 7 sentries. Might be the wrong decision though.
Kind of depends on where those mutas are when Vibe sees the sentries and stuff.
And it's gonna all come down to the reinforcements pilot of Bling. This is a really big commitment from Bling already. So he needs to get a pilot a lot closer to where he is right now if he actually wants to deal with this mutalisk, because he's gonna have to warp in a lot of stalkers. He is mining off 4 simulators, guys, so he has a reasonable gas income, but it's not massive. Okay, that's a pretty good pilot to reinforce. He's gonna ignore
and
this.
I like that he's walking past that 4th base. That's also pretty good. The problem is this is like an anti-timing.
Yep, 11
show up
mutalisks
as the mutas spawn.
We have 5 stalkers right now. 5 stalkers and 8 sentries is actually sort of good enough already. Do we have any zerglings on the map? Nope, only 2. I actually think this is gonna work out for Bling. The moment he's gonna see the mutalisk, he should only warp in stalkers, and then he's gonna be fine. He even cancels that pilot, knowing he's gonna die anyway.
And he's already warping in stalkers, and now, okay, so he's spotted the mutas. At this point, he knows exactly what he's up against. And once
stalkers.
again, Vibe is in some trouble, Kevin.
In a world of trouble. All that he has right now are drones and mutalisks. Mutalisk gonna try to engage on this stalker sentry army. We have 12 mutalisks, but I don't think this is going to be enough.
It's looking pretty grim. Drones have been pulled off the line. I think Vibe might clean this up, but it's going to be with some heavy losses, losing mutas, losing drones. Zergling's only now really joining the fight. And
he can just swap in a lot of zealots right now if Bling really wants to. Oh, did he lose that pilot? Nope. Did not lose the pilot yet. There we do see that zealot warp in. That's also important zealot warp in, because it's going to be able to keep a couple of those stalkers alive. We have 2 stalkers remaining, but there are only 5 mutalisks remaining. So the next warp in is going to be good enough. Nice micro here by Bling, ignoring the zealots, focusing down those stalkers, but he's taking so much damage already. I meant Vibe, of course.
Yeah, more warp-ins for Bling. He can easily kill this hatchery. He's going to easily kill off these mutas. And Kevin, Vibe, I guess, showing the rust. Definitely in some serious trouble. Lost 2 hatcheries, lost a lot of mutas, lost a lot of drones. 30 lings about to spawn with them. He may clean this up, but I don't even know if that's going to happen.
It's +1 zealots after all, man. The stalkers focusing down the last remaining mutalisks. Those zealots with +1 just killing all those links. It's not even a close fight. GG, well played is called, and dignitasBling takes out Vibe 3-0. Wow.
Woo. And Vibe struggling a little bit against Protoss, but Bling, on the other hand, just looked phenomenal. A dominating victory. Narrowly missing a berth in the grand finals. Losing 2-3 to Grubby, but convincing in his games against Vibe, certainly.
Yep, well, I think that Grubby is ready. I guess Sarovati is super ready as well. He must be so excited to go up against Grubby. So I guess we'll let you guys know as soon as it kicks off. Last but not least, Ben, I still want to talk about the fact that Vibe, for some reason, every single game he lost, I felt like he got a little bit unfortunate as well. Now, of course, you do not get unfortunate 6 games on the road. There's no way. You can just see that he's a little bit rusty right now and he hasn't practiced all that much. But don't you always feel that it always came down to a couple of seconds and somehow he was always on the wrong side of...
yeah, he was really unlucky. Really super unlucky.
But Bling played fantastic, man. Bling played really, really solid. I loved his style on Daybreak. This is a style that we haven't seen for a little while, but I knew that he loved to play that style, that's why I mentioned it. And he did it a little bit different, because normally he did it with 3-0, and this time he went with 2-1 upgrades. But the execution, how he does it is really cool, with zealot warp-ins on the left top side of the map, in the main base, and then a big army in the main as well, in the middle of the map as well. Really cool strat, man. I like that strat a lot. It's quite a hard strat to execute, because when I do it, I'm somehow always late, or I get fungled to death, but Bling made it work, and he played well. Congratulations to Bling.
Yeah, great play from Bling, guys. We're going to take a short break. When we get back, Sarovati versus Grubby, the grand final. Can't wait. Don't go anywhere. Alienware Arena returns after this.